Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am Reverend Sharon Dunn-Alberg. I got to get the name straight. Your senior minister and spiritual leader here at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living, where we believe that you can change your life by changing your thinking. Why not? Let's talk about that today.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that the 20th is the last day you can put your application in for the board position. And we're excited how many applicants we have so far, which I'm holding an affirmation. You know, that an affirmation is it, even if it doesn't appear like it's happening, you act as if. So I am acting as if that we have a plethora of applications by the 20th. And this is on the website, so if you want to read all these qualifications that you already have and you want to build by being in service, it's on the website. So, and let's look at our vision together. Let's do it together. Let's say it together. We are a welcoming sanctuary community where all are accepted, valued, and supported in the global family. Beautiful. Our mission, we inspire personal and global transformation through the teachings of science of mind. And our purpose is in joy and love. We connect in service to all life. I just love our vision, mission, and purpose. It's a very important thing to have. So what am I going to talk about right now is, I thought, why aren't we asking for demonstrations on Sunday? What demonstration did you have this week? Otherwise, what are we here for, right? If we are not taking what we're learning and getting out there and manifesting that life that we so desire, right? So the same thing goes for the microcosm that goes for the macrocosm. You understand that we can also manifest good government, right speech, world peace, And we can manifest the sanctuary here at the Sacramento Center for Spiritual Living. And we had a little hiccup in that when we said we were going to have our volunteer party, we tore down some sheetrock, old sheetrock, and found that the beam across the sanctuary was faulty and had to be replaced. This is thousands of dollars. We thought, how in the world are we going to do that? Well, excuse me, Howie. I call God Howie because we don't know. We don't have to know how God does God's work. We just know it's so, correct? So the vision is to build this sanctuary, and it is for sure a vision based in all of the necessary components of the formula for manifestation according to physics. So let God do God's work and trust. But we take action as well. Well, I kind of didn't know what action to take. So Larry, my beloved, went to Home Depot at like 7 in the morning on Saturday. Saturday's the busiest time at Home Depot. And lots of people are at Home Depot wanting things, especially free things. Free. What we needed was a 20-foot long beams. We need a very long piece of wood, many pieces of wood to put together to make a beam that we would have had to have shipped from Oregon, which was very costly. And so, we were going to do it, and we were going to manifest it. And we were trying to think of fundraising activities that we could do. Well, instead, he just went to Home Depot on Saturday, and there, mind you, picture number 1 was every single thing we need sitting there for free.
Wow.
Now, Larry did go to the fella and say, "What does this mean?" Not that he had doubt, but he was like, "What exactly does that free mean? What does it actually get you? Is it, free to be put in your car after you buy it, or free delivery? What was the free?" And the fella just looked at him and said, "Free, dude, free."
Whoa.
So another person was there, of course, because it's early and people go to Home Depot and they're pretty ready to walk out with all kinds of good stuff. Said, "Oh, I'm going to take that," and Larry had to say, "No, it's already taken, sir." He goes, "Oh, okay." And so he took it outside, and the fella said, "Well, I don't know how long we can hold it here for you while you go get a trailer. You have to rent a trailer. It's giant, right?" Mm-hmm. He goes, "No problem. I'm not leaving it." And he called Craig, his son. Craig came. He stood by it, guarding it with our vision, and then they went and got one person went and got the trailer, and then you see it in the actual trailer. Now what happened here was 5 2x12 by 20 boards, 6 2x12 by 16 board. The wood alone is over $1,000. Not to have it cut, milled, and shipped. This is just the wood. So I wanted you to share in this demonstration, because that's why we're here, folks.
Yep.
We are here to manifest our dreams, manifest the life that we have come here to live. Authentic, full out. And so this is very much, Larry calls these moments the whale moments. And I don't know if you remember his story about when we were at the beach when we first met, and he was an agnostic, and we were sitting at the beach and having a picnic and by the water, and all of a sudden all these dolphins started, playing in the water, and I said, what would you need to believe? And he goes, "Oh, whale." You can imagine what happened. A whale came out of the water, and he just burst into tears, and that was the end of non-believing. And so what he called this, folks, was a whale. And he brought it to the house first and said, "Babe, I got a whale in the driveway." So I wanted you all to take advantage of this demonstration, because I'm hoping that you'll start thinking about your own demonstrations and bringing them on Sunday and sharing with us. So pretty awesome, huh?
Yes.
I have stopped saying, "I can't believe it." Just don't say that. So it is my honor and privilege to bring up a beautiful soul, our Reverend Debbie Putnam, who is affiliated with Emerson, licensed with Centers for Spiritual Living as a practitioner. So she's just everything. She's got it all. And she's going to come in and take us from that wonderful demonstration into our sacred service, and we are going to talk today about manifestation.
I love that term, whale moment. I think I'm going to start using it. I feel like we kind of live our lives this way, and my husband's like, "Yeah, I believe already." So, drop with me into this space that is always present, this infinite oneness. That is all that ever is, all that ever was, and all that ever will be. There is this presence of being, divine wholeness, divine oneness, and in this oneness we are. I am one with this infinite presence of being. This center is one with this infinite presence of being. Reverend Sharon and the musicians and our board of directors and our incoming board members all are one with the infinite presence. Every member, every friend, everyone watching. This infinite presence is right here and right now. Manifest as the most amazing service that inspires each and every one of us, that touches each of us exactly where we are right now, where we need to be, and takes us the next step by step, week by week, year by year. It is amazing, this unfolding good, right here and right now. And so the music, the talk, the manifestations, all of the things are blessed and are a blessing. We are blessed, and we bless the world, and so it is. And now for our readings.
Go ahead and use the arrow.
Oh, I get to. Thank you. It is said that when Thomas Edison was confronted with a problem, the solution of which seemed impossible, he would lie down for 15 or 20 minutes, completely relaxed, letting go of the problem. This was his way of communing with the source of all knowledge. Often he would fall asleep, and upon awakening, the solution to the problem was before him like a vision. Ernest Holmes. But the person who goes deeply into his or her own nature will find that God speaks in a language more subtle than the human language, without a tongue. In that universal language of spiritual emotion, which is instinctive in humanity, and in brute, and held in common by all civilizations, by all creation, by all people who have lived. The universal language of emotion, sense, feeling, intuition, instinct. Sometimes we call it conscience, sometimes we call it a hunch, sometimes we call it a vision, a dream. It makes no difference what we call it. It is a direct revelation of omniscience through us. Ernest Holmes. And also, from Ernest Holmes, you belong to the universe in which you live. You are one with the creative genius back of this vast array of ceaseless motion, this original flow of life. You are as much a part of it as the sun, the earth, and the air. There is something in you telling you this, like a voice echoing from some mountain top of inward vision, like a light whose origin no human has seen, like an impulse welling up from an invisible source. And now for more music. Bev and Greg.
Barnett and Greg Newlon. In the house. Woo! Yeah. Original music, yes? Yes. Wow, we are so blessed. I had a very fun week with this week's topic. Don't I always? I mean, but this was extraordinary because how I get to where I'm going is vision. If you really love those quotes today, it really kind of defines that revelation, that inner revelation. Call it what you will, but it is the vision. It is God's idea of itself as whatever it is that you're bringing forward. And it really is something we're going to go deeply into in the class, the visioning class. Vision for Your Life starts February 27th, and it's a Zoom class, and so that we'll be sharing with people from other areas as well. But it will go deep into this practice of visioning. And today we're going to talk about that. Today's topic actually is vision pulls. You might have heard Michael Beckwith. Do you all know who Michael Beckwith is? Yeah. Well, Michael Beckwith is one of us. He started a center in the Southern California area called Agape. And he and a group of people, I think I've told this story before, visioned in their living room for Agape. And of course, eventually 10,000 people were attending. And he's on Oprah, and that he actually had a conversation with Oprah about pain pushes till the vision pulls. And so that's where the vision pulls comes from. And I'm going to take us in a different direction. And my direction is more that I am going to talk about vision without the pain. Because vision also is birthed from excitement and dream and a call, something pulling us towards something we desire. So that's not painful. What is painful is when we get in the way of that. And so what do we do here is we work on that barrier, any barrier preventing us from having that thing that we so desire. And so what I do want to do is give you a quote from Ernest Holmes. Again, I know that you heard 3, but this is a 4th one, another way he describes vision. And I just love his poetic languaging. Our self-knowing mind is the instrument which perceives reality and cognizes or realizes truth, capital T. All illumination, inspiration, realization must come through the self-knowing mind in order to manifest in us. Remember, we talk about God expresses itself through its creation. So vision, intuition, and revelation proclaim themselves through our self-knowing mind. And the saints and sages, the saviors and the Christs, the prophets and seers, the wise and the learned have all consciously perceived and proclaimed this fact. This is what we all do. We all have that wee small voice within us. We have access to the infinite mind, and it's not out here. We are finite. We have our finite mind, and within us we have access to the infinite mind. We have to remember that we're not beseeching, we're not asking for, but we're knowing I am worthy to experience this that I desire. And last week we did a lot of I am worthy. We had a ceremony and we took vows, and the ceremony and the vows, the context was follow your heart and self-love. And so on Valentine's Day, you didn't have to be coupled. It was more of an intention set to commit to oneself. And so I made these little Valentines and I put the vows in it. And so there were extra, if you were not here last week, there is one for you in the back for you to take home. And these vows are a wonderful thing to do in contemplation of worthiness. And wonderful. So the idea of vision and manifestation, I'm going to talk about it today. I'm so excited to bring it in a little different way, because we talk about the seed, soil, and the plant, yes? The seed, soil, and the plant. I've been talking about that for 30 years. The seed, soil, and the plant. So it starts in mind, we nurture it in the soil, and it grows into a plant, a manifestation. Well, I had a revelation this week. I found the plant. The seed soil plant. I always just brought any old plant in, because it was a metaphor, right? It was just, something to help us understand the concept that is in our teaching symbol of it goes from mind into soil into form. Well, the plant is the lotus. I couldn't believe it. So today I'm going to talk about the seed, mud, and lotus. So the seed soil, keep that in mind. But we now have, a plant to contemplate the most magnificent plant. So I'm going to start with some fun facts. I hope this is as fun for you, because it sure has been fun for me. So the lotus flowers have a long, rich history spanning thousands of years. Naturally occurring in many countries in Southeast Asia and Australia, they're also found in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics as well as folklore in ancient Greece. They're also found in my sister's backyard. She's a Buddhist, and she has lotus. Very fascinating. I just never put it together. So the lotus flower appears on some of the earliest Buddhist and Jain imagery that we have in South Asia, going as far back as the time of Emperor Ashoka around 250 BCE. Now, Jainism is one of the oldest religions. Are you familiar with Jainism?
Sure.
So just a quick little infomercial about Jainism is that the Jain monks take 5 main vows: nonviolence, truth, not stealing, chastity, and non-possessiveness. It's very similar to Buddhism, would you say? And the function of the souls is to help one another. Isn't that? Yeah. That mic drop. Predominantly lacto-vegetarian lifestyle. So that's Jainism. And so the imagery of the lotus is, okay, so we have Buddhism, Jainism. Lotuses were also used in Buddhist shrines as early as 180 BCE. You knew this, right? Of course you did. As a source and support for a goddess who was eventually known as Lakshmi. Okay, we've heard of her. Today, the lotus is the national flower of both India and Vietnam. Do you like these fun facts? I do. The lotus flower in Hinduism represents the womb of the universe, from which all things are born, as well as overcoming adversity. Remember, seed, mud, lotus. The lotus is a special symbol for Mahayana Buddhists to describe the potential of beings to realize their inherent Buddha nature, which can then blossom into full bodhisattvahood. Remember, the bodhisattva is a person who's able to reach nirvana but postpones it so that it can be in service to humanity, helping others up. So that is my little fun facts about the lotus. And we're going to talk about the seed, the mud, and the lotus. And so there's also, and I'm going to get into this in a little bit, but the Lotus Sutras, the Lotus Sutra. The Lotus Sutra is scripture, and it's volumes and volumes of scripture using the lotus metaphor. It's a very amazing flower. And why is it amazing? This is why. The lotus, are we enjoying this? All right. The lotus flower is invested with profound significance in Buddhism and Hinduism and the sutras. And it's the only plant, drum roll, thank you. It is the only plant that simultaneously produces both flower, cause, and seed pod effect. I would have put those the other way around, but I'm not going to change scripture. I will tell you I would change scripture, but I'm giving you scripture in its purest and then tell you how I would interpret scripture. Right, scripture. The Lotus Sutra is canonical. Like it is like our canonical Bible. It is scripture. It's amazing. And so the mud part, we've often heard, right? No lotus, no mud. You've heard that. Who's heard that? It's so cool. No lotus, no mud. I mean, it's kind of that thing of we have to do this to get there. We have to have gone through that to get here. I mean, it's kind of the thing. We've had to birth. Is that painful kind of laborious, like what it is, and so it's like no lotus, no mud. Anyway, for those of you who. And so the lotus rises from the mud without a stain. It's just so cool. It's due to the waxy protection layer on its petals. Its beauty is blithely unaffected when it reblooms each morning. This is a metaphor for faith. Do you see that? This is a metaphor for faith. Every morning comes back out. No stains, beauty, perfection. We rise up out of effects, out of all that our attention has been on, our circumstances, our conditions, our situations. We rise out of the murk and the mud. And again, if you want to say pain pushes until vision pulls, that's one way. But we're going to have our manifestations painlessly, yes? Yes. So we rise up into the purity in principle. So in the mud, we might be kind of in it. Have you ever had that? I'm in it to win it. I'm in my experience. I'm having difficulty. I am not clear. Sometimes when things, when I am focused on, because I want to say immediately when things are happening, that sounds kind of a little bit like victim, doesn't it? Because it is. It's happening to me. And when I get into that place, I forget everything. I'm in the mud. I can't see. I'm not clear. And so this idea that I have this protection, I am the lotus. You get it? I mean, get this right now, that where I'm taking you is that you are the lotus. You are that beauty, that amazing, that unique, that nothing else is like you. You can simultaneously create seeds and bloom. But sometimes we're in the mud. And then the lotus returns to the murky water each evening and open its bloom in the break of day. Can you imagine this? It goes back into the mud. This is the seed pod. So it closes up and goes. Now, I kind of had to study, I had to study this because there were some places where I wasn't quite sure. Like, how does it do that? And how does it reproduce? I had to get into the sex of the lotus, which was really cool. So what happens is the beetle, or the bee, or the bees, and the beetles they get on this pod, and then it closes up and it goes back into the mud, and they have to spend the night. And that is your sex education lesson today of the lotus. And but if you think about it, everything is happening in the same flower. It's not going from flower to flower. It's all happening in the same flower, which is just phenomenal. And so therefore, we look at the lotus as symbols of strength, resilience, and rebirth, transformation, right? And the lotus has a life cycle unlike any other plant, just like we are unlike any other. And with its roots latched in mud, it submerges every night into the water and miraculously reblooms the next morning, sparkling clean, very much like we sentient beings. We have an opportunity every day to wake up as the lotus. I don't know, is this exciting? I mean, to me, I have just become the lotus. I'm like thrilled with my new identity. And there's just many different colors. And this one I thought was very interesting. It finds sanctuary in the mud. The more I am practiced, the more I understand how it works, how the science of mind works, how transformation works, how manifestation works, however teaching you get to it, how it works, the more I'm comfortable in not knowing. I find sanctuary there now because my trust of the bloom is so strong. I'm okay. I'm okay when I don't know. Perfect example was the wood, the beam. I didn't spend a lot of time wondering how we're going to do it. I literally almost forgot about it because I know it's going to happen. Now, that doesn't mean that I didn't think about how we're, action steps, right? Treat and move your feet. It wasn't like that. It's just that I wasn't concerned. I wasn't afraid. Oh God, this is it, I'm literally feeling more like I have a sanctuary in the mud. And we're a choice to find sanctuary in the muck. The mud, the murk. God bless anyone and everyone involved in whatever that announcement of siren means. All is well. We love you. And we know something wonderful wants to emerge, yes? But we aren't clear about what it is necessarily. Well, then sometimes we get a very clear call and we're like, no. no, I'm not ready for that. But there's no pain here unless we bring that on. So, if we let it, like the lotus, we continue to resurrect ourselves, emerging just as beautiful. We refuse to accept defeat. This is what the lotus is known for. The lotus is known for its strength, comes up every day, goes back down, does these amazing things, is so beautiful and inspiring, and it does not accept defeat. And so last, I want to talk about the flower itself. And the lotus can be thought of as the embodiment of the mandala. There is so much art, everywhere in the world, going back to ancient times. And if you notice, like the wheel in Buddhism, if you took out everything in the middle of this mandala, I never put those together. It just all stems Do you love that? From the lotus. And the center point of the mandala expands outward. With the center, we find the singular source. Within us is spirit in its fullness, and we bring it out into manifestation. And in Hinduism, there's a popular mantra that, and it's called Om Mani Padme Hum, and our One Love Band sings it, and Ruth had it playing at the beginning for our welcoming song, and I didn't realize, I have learned so much this week, but I didn't realize that it roughly translates from Sanskrit to praise the jewel in the lotus. Did you know that?
No.
I'm like, I'm waking up. I am coming out of the mud here. And I am just amazed at this beautiful wisdom that I have learned from the lotus. All the wisdom is within us. So the jewel, the treasure is in us. We are the lotus flower. And the phrase, the lotus blooms, but its roots are unseen, is often used as a metaphor to represent the idea that manifestation can be easily visible and noticeable, but achieving it is often hidden and not apparent. So that's why it's so important when we do our affirmations and we learn, say it in the present tense, even if it's not in appearance. Say it as if it's so. Say it as if it's so. Believe it as if it's so, because the roots are unseen. What do we have to become in order to manifest the life we desire? And in summary, nothing, no matter what happens, can change your inherent worth and the value of your vision for your life. Nothing. We learned that last week when we took vows. We are worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of self-acceptance, self-respect, and self-love. I am worthy of respect, of acceptance, of love. I am worthy. I deserve. And in cause and effect, my life expresses outwardly to others in the same way. Respect, acceptance, and love. Have courage. Nothing, no ordeal can defeat you. Do you believe that? Nothing. There is nothing in the world, in this life, that can defeat us. Our souls are infinite, immortal, and forever and ever. Whatever happens here, happens here. Whatever happens in life stays there. Little Las Vegas slip there. In Buddhism, they believe that those who have suffered the most, those who have experienced the greatest sadness, have a right to become the happiest of all. Isn't that wonderful? What would the purpose of our Buddhist practice be if the most miserable could not be happy? I thank you so much for today, because I had the most beautiful, amazing time looking at these beautiful images of the lotus and seeing myself for the very first time as the lotus, and the very first time as the creative process flower. And one last thing I did have to do is I had to look at everything I have, the concordance, everything I have on Ernest Holmes, and I have not found one word about the lotus. Not the lotus itself as a word or a word. And so I am thrilled to take his teaching of the creative process and put it toward a wider, a more expansive idea that is inclusive, including so many different faiths. And it's beautiful. Let us pray. There is many, many words for God. Allah, the Great Spirit, avatars, Jesus, Buddha, the lotus. The lotus. Beauty, abundance, peace, joy, love, light, harmony, belonging. It is a loving spirit. It is beauty everywhere. And it is creative, creating all that I just spoke, creating the lotus, hiding it in the mud for us to find. This spirit is the giving source of all. It is the only source. It is the ultimate source. It is my source. It is the source of each one of us here. And so I am that is. I am that beauty and that love and that light and that mud and those seeds. I am the power. And I know from the one mind that what I know then is known to all. And so when I say I am beauty, I am power, I know that for each one of us. I know that for each one listening, tuning in later, at any time, that there is a power and a presence that we can use to have the life we so desire, to be the human behavior that we desire, to contribute to the world more love and more light and more power and more beauty. And so I know the truth, and I know that for all humanity, that there is no one non-deserving. Everyone deserves to be fed and sheltered and cared for. Everyone deserves to be heard and understood. Everyone belongs. This is the one life, the life that is my life, the life that is the life of every sentient being, no exception. And so this prayer is answered, and I'm grateful for that. And I release my word into the law that says yes. And please affirm with me as we say, and so it is. Now we have our beautiful musicians, Bev and Greg. Local musicians, by the way.
miracle. Every rising sun will show the way. The universe conspires to shower blessing, accept its sacred magic every day. And every falling raindrop is a miracle. Every rising sun will show the way. The universe conspires to shower blessing, accept its sacred magic every day. I know all is well, every step is true. Living in the heart of God, every breath is new. I know all is well.
So pretty.
That was beautiful. I know all is well. Okay, I'll talk up a little bit. I'm kind of dropped into that spot where you can't hear me, but
You're in the mud.
yeah. So let's take a moment to drop into that place in us where we are the lotus, and that's who we are right here and right now, that Reverend Sharon has been living all week. So just a moment of knowing that the divine in us is us. And that is all that is happening in our lives right here and right now. This is the moment. And it is beautiful. And you are beautiful. And now it's our offering time. Time for us to give of our treasures. We give of our time, our talent, and our treasure, and this treasure supports the ministry of this center, the expansion into the new sanctuary, the gift that we have of being able to be online. For example, I was able to attend online last week because I couldn't make it in person, and what an amazing thing that is. So if you're online, please give towards that ministry in particular. And remember, please, that our building fund is separate from our regular tithing. I think we all know this, but it's good to be conscious of it. So we do our regular tithing, and when we are able, we also give to the expansion of this wonderful center into our sanctuary. Please join with us in the message.
Go backwards.
Yeah,
There you go. The other way.
other way.
There you go.
There we go. In the abundance affirmation. This is for you, it is for me, it's for all of us. In consciousness of abundance, I give freely, knowing that I am freely given to. And now for our offering song while the basket is passed around. And of course, you can also give online or even mail a check. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I We accept prayer requests. Not only do we accept prayer requests, we actually pray on them. Not only do we actually pray on them, magnificent things happen.
Yes.
In fact, magnificent things happened just this week, and I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about them or not, but we have had some, everything from someone's cat to the most amazing health conditions and just different things that have been put through on the prayer line. Feel free to go online, submit a prayer request on our amazing website, and that will go out to our prayer team, and we'll be on it.
Yeah, that's right.
Talk about demonstrations. Yeah, it's been pretty great. So we have a song circle that is the third Sunday of every month, and is that
That's
this
today.
week?
Today.
Yeah, today.
But it
So
starts
song
at-
circle
It
at 1
starts
p.m.
at 12, not at 1.
It starts at 12, not at 1. So enjoy the singing with our musicians, and it's really a lot of fun. We also have this visioning class that Reverend Sharon mentioned, and visioning is a powerful practice, as she talked about. She did such a wonderful job. Thank you, Reverend Sharon, for an amazing job of kind of marrying this idea of manifestation to this idea of visioning of who and what we really are, this being the lotus, being all of it at once. It's an amazing space to balance. So learn more about that in the visioning class, which starts February 27th. So that is a Tuesday. This coming week, at least a couple of our ministers, I know Reverend Patricia and Doug are going, and I assume Reverend Sharon's going to our CSL convention in Charleston, South Carolina. So that's pretty exciting. And then we have a postponed volunteer day, but it's going to happen. Reverend Sharon already explained why it was postponed. Stay tuned. It's going to be a lot of fun. The why, of course, was the beam, that there needed to be a little bit more work in this other room before we moved forward with the planned volunteer day. And now for our affirmation. I am worthy of respect, acceptance, and love. And now for our benediction, followed by closing music and hang out for fellowship. There's cookies back there. And other stuff.
Good cookies.
They look delicious. Blessings on this day, this infinite presence that is me, that is all of us. Blessings on this moment. This infinite presence now expands in me, as me, through me, from the service, from what I have taken away today, even things that I don't remember until later, perhaps. That there is this moment that is expanding within me that I give to myself, to my life, and to all of the others around me. And this blesses and expands the world. The world also is this lotus flower of expansion and rebirth, of renewal and blessing and joy. And so I know this for all of us, that each of us goes into our day and into our lives renewed, restored, and able to restore and bless ourselves from the mud into the light that we are, the blessing that we are. And so it is.
So it is.
Music.
Okay, that river of love that you heard in the beginning, we're going to redo that, and you can sing it with us if you'd like. There's a river of love, and it flows right through every word I say, everything I do. Follow me. It'll be fun. There's a river of love.